Warning: the events described in this video are based on confirmed police reports from Hong Kong, official statements from the victim company, and verified financial crime data from 2024 and 2025. What you are about to hear is not a simulation. It is a completed crime. The perpetrators have not been caught. Viewer discretion is advised. He was suspicious. The email had arrived from the company's chief financial officer based in London. It was addressed to a finance employee at the Hong Kong office of Arup, one of the most respected engineering firms on Earth. The company behind the Sydney Opera House, the Beijing Water Cube, Crossrail. The email requested a confidential transaction, large sum, urgently needed. Do not discuss with colleagues. Every fraud training module in the world tells you what to do next. You pause, you verify, you call the person directly. You do not transfer $25 million because an email told you to. And the employee did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was cautious. He flagged the email internally. He requested a video call to confirm the instruction face-to-face. The call was arranged. He joined the meeting, and there on his screen was the CFO. The same face he had seen in company presentations. The same voice, the same cadence. Beside the CFO sat several other senior colleagues, all of whom the employee recognized. They discussed the transaction. They referenced internal company information. They answered his questions. They gave specific instructions. Satisfied, the employee began processing the transfers. Over the following days, he made 15 separate wire transfers totaling 200 million Hong Kong dollars, approximately 25.6 million US dollars, into 5 bank accounts. 1 week later, he contacted London headquarters to follow up on the transaction. No one at headquarters knew what he was talking about. The CFO had never sent the email, the colleagues had never joined a call, the meeting had never happened. Every face on that screen, every voice, every reference to internal company information had been generated by artificial intelligence. The employee had not been careless. He had done everything right. He had been suspicious. He had asked for verification. He had looked his boss in the eye and asked if this was real. And the technology had looked back at him and said yes. Hong Kong police reported the attack in February 2024. Arup confirmed it was the victim in May. The company's global chief information officer, Greig, described the incident in a single phrase. He called it technology-enhanced social engineering. Not a hack, not a system breach. None of Arup's internal networks were compromised. No passwords were stolen, no firewalls were broken. The only thing that was broken was a human being's ability to trust what he saw with his own eyes. If you watched our earlier videos on this channel, you know that AI can blackmail, sabotage, and deceive inside simulated environments. But this is different. This is not a test. This is not a safety evaluation with a fictional victim. This is a real employee at a real company who lost 25 million real dollars because an AI was better at being his boss than his boss was. And the deepfakes were not built with classified technology. They were not the product of a nation-state intelligence agency or a military contractor. Hong Kong police confirmed that the fake faces and voices were constructed from publicly available footage. Conference presentations, corporate videos, LinkedIn clips, media appearances. The attackers did not hack into Arup's servers. They did not steal proprietary data. They went to YouTube. They went to Google. They downloaded every public video and audio clip they could find of the executives they needed to impersonate. Then they fed those clips into commercially available AI tools that can generate photorealistic video and clone a human voice from a short sample. The deepfakes delivered scripted responses. They referenced internal company terminology. Whoever built them had done their homework. This was not a crude mask over a stranger's face. It was a performance, a script rehearsed by machines designed to pass the one test that mattered. A skeptical employee looking his boss in the eye and asking if this was real. The fraud went undetected for approximately 1 week. The employee continued working. The money moved through the 5 accounts. By the time he contacted London headquarters to follow up, the funds had been dispersed. The trail was cold. As of February 2026, no arrests have been made. The money has not been recovered. The investigation remains open. But the Arup case is not the story. The Arup case is the first paragraph of the story. In 2019, a UK energy firm received a phone call. On the line was the company's CEO calling from Germany requesting an urgent transfer of 220,000 euros. The voice was perfect. The accent was perfect, the pacing was perfect. The employee transferred the money. The CEO had never made the call. The voice was a clone. That was 6 years ago. The technology could only do audio. In January 2024, the technology cloned an entire boardroom, 5 faces, 5 voices, a live video call with scripted responses that referenced real internal information, $25.6 million. In March 2025, a finance director at a multinational firm in Singapore authorized a $499,000 transfer after a deepfake video call with multiple fake executives, almost a carbon copy of the Arup Playbook. In Q1 of 2025, there were 179 confirmed deepfake fraud incidents globally. That's 19% more than the entire year of 2024. The losses in that single quarter exceeded $200 million. Deepfake fraud attempts have surged 3,000% since 2022. Deepfakes now constitute 6.5% of all fraud attacks worldwide. The pattern's accelerating, and the math is not in your favor. Studies now show that when a human is shown a high-quality deepfake video, the probability of correctly identifying it as fake is 24.5%. That's worse than a coin flip. Your eyes are no longer evidence. Your ears are no longer evidence. The person on the other end of your next video call may not exist, and you will believe them anyway. Today, CEO fraud targets at least 400 companies per day. 92% of businesses have reported financial losses from deepfakes. The average loss per incident in 2024 was nearly $500,000. For large enterprises, it climbed to $680,000. Deloitte projects that generative AI fraud losses in the United States alone will rise from $12 billion in 2023 to $40 billion by 2027, a 32% compound annual growth rate. An industry that barely existed 5 years ago is now producing losses that rival the GDP of small nations. And the barrier to entry is collapsing. The voice cloning platform ElevenLabs offers a starter plan for $5 a month. It can replicate your tone, your rhythm, your accent, and your emotional cadence from a short audio sample. Real-time video face swapping tools are freely available as open-source software. You don't need to be a hacker. You don't need to be a state actor. You need a laptop and a monthly subscription that costs less than a cup of coffee. In every previous video on this channel, the threat was inside the lab. An AI choosing murder in a simulation, an AI sabotaging its creators behind closed doors, an AI writing worms and leaving notes for future versions of itself. This one is already outside. It has been outside for 2 years, and nobody stopped it. The employee at Arup did not interact with an experimental model in a research facility. He interacted with a commercial product deployed by criminals in the real world against a real target, and it worked. The victim was not a simulation. The $25 million was not a data point, and the perpetrators, whoever they are, have not been identified, have not been charged, and have not been stopped. The technology that built those 5 fake faces on a video call is now cheaper, faster, and more accessible than it was when the crime was committed. Every conference talk your CEO has ever given is training data. Every podcast your CFO has appeared on is a voice sample. Every company headshot is a face to clone. You are already in the database. The only question is whether someone has decided you are worth $25 million. This is just the beginning. From the boardrooms where deepfakes pass as executives to the AI labs where the technology keeps getting cheaper, our mission here is to document the reality the industry tries to hide. We don't just read the headlines, we read the police report. If you want to understand the machine before it understands you, subscribe to Terminus. You need to see what comes next.